This has completely turned the internet upside down, ladies and gentlemen. Get your phones, turn up the volume, and cancel whatever arrangements you may have had. Papoose is in the hospital. This isn't a drill. It's not a film, sorry. This is true. And it was none other than Easy the block captain who carried out the vicious beating. Remy Ma was found skulking around with the same man while she was still married to Papoose. Now stop. Breathe deeply. Because of what we are going to reveal outside that emergency room door, you'll make your mouth drop like Claressa. The fight didn't just start, according to witnesses. It blew up. The roles were reversed. There was blood. The cameras are rolling. And Papoose was carried out on a stretcher after it was finished. Additionally, the unbeaten champion herself, Claressa Shields, was shown sobbing, yelling, and hammering on the hospital doors as if her life were on the line. The question then becomes, did Easy finally lose it after months of being the other man in Ray's crazy betrayal roller coaster, or was this retaliation a setup? Do you want the truth? Do you want dirt? What follows will destroy friendships, professions, and potentially put someone in jail, so stay right here. It all began with a look. It seemed like a gun going off in slow motion, a silent, bone-cutting glare that swept the room without a shove or shout. A stadium-sized room filled with influencers, celebrities, and egos. Nevertheless, Papoose's eye contact with Easy the block captain was the only thing everyone saw. Additionally, both men formerly battled for that woman. It's true that Remy Ma wasn't in the space. Let's go back. There was a reason for this beef. It was bitter, sour, and ready to boil, like old tea brewing on the back burner. Fans have been noticing the strange tension and mysterious Instagram postings for months. Papoose attending activities Remy was supposed to host by himself. The GWAT itself, Claressa Shields, getting caught in the middle of things and posting small #loyalty captions that made TikTok detectives gag. Remy, keep quiet. Too silent, which indicates something's wrong in this world, definitely up. Now, fast forward to 3 nights ago, when an elegant Brooklyn rooftop hosted a purported industry dinner. There was no Applebee's here, this was a high-level, NDA-only atmosphere with no cameras, celebrities, and sunglasses at night. However, since someone not only captured the whole sequence leading up to a vicious fistfight, what transpired that evening ought to have remained under wraps. However, they also leaked it to a site that has since been removed twice due to letters and cease and desist. Fortunately, we were the first to see the video. Allow me to describe the scene. Papoose enters alone. A few faces from the battle rap scene are already seated next to Easy. There is quiet, no nod, no handshake. Papoose approaches Easy directly. Everyone seemed to have known something was coming, but none had anticipated how awful things would get. Then Papoose swings with a bang. He did indeed land the initial blow. However, what followed? No one anticipated. Easy did not falter. He didn't retreat. He lost his temper. It wasn't even a scuffle, it was a takedown. Easy must have been practicing with Claressa or something, because he reacted quickly. Another attendee, who asked not to be named, said, "It was like watching someone's uncle get jumped by a trained fighter." Within 10 seconds, chairs toppled, plates broke, drinks spilled, and Papoose was flat on his back. Papoose attempted to stand up, but Easy gave him another forceful slam. The entire rooftop fell silent, I promise. Nobody knew if they should record or yell. Naturally, someone also took a recording. Security finally steps in and removes Easy, a barely awake Papoose, in the video that went viral. Someone is audible. Shout, call an ambulance. He's not breathing right. At that point, a black Escalade screamed up to the curb, making the situation considerably uglier. And who leaps out? Claressa's defenses. She wasn't even meant to be there, you know. But she knew somehow. She somehow appeared immediately following the battle, as if she had been seeing the catastrophe unfold live. And, phew, her response. This is how one server put it. She leaped out as if she were in a championship bout. Just pure panic, no shoes. No makeup, she shouted as she saw Papoose on the ground, saying, even though I've witnessed fights, I've never heard a woman scream before. Another witness claimed that she collapsed to her knees in the emergency room parking lot, sobbing, cursing, and tugging at her own hair. I've seen celebrities cry, but this was different. I advised him not to come on. I pleaded with him. This was not intended to occur in this manner. Fans who had previously questioned Claressa and Papoose's relationship abruptly altered their minds. Their voice. Posts like, wait, Claressa really loves him FR. She ain't acting. That's pain. Nah. She's crying like she's the wife, not fake, we're all over Twitter. Remember, Remy Ma hasn't spoken a word, not even a subtweet, not even a prayers up post, and there has been radio silence. Remember when Yeezys went online last month, drinking from the notorious Karma mug and declaring, some men talk? And guess whose comments are beginning to sound more genuine without Remy's voice? Some men simply respond. You get burned if you play with fire for too long. People assumed it had to do with his rap rivals, but it wasn't. Papoose's bruised ego and shattered ribs are now the joke. He was sending a message. The report verified the following injuries: 0.3 fractured ribs, a broken molar, serious upper spinal bruises, internal bleeding under observation, and a moderate concussion. Yes, this was an level beatdown, not a skirmish. And guess who waited with Papoose until 4 in the morning? Claressa, not Remy. Then the rumors started to circulate. Was Remy manipulating Papoose all along? Did she anticipate Yeezy's outburst? Was this a failed vengeance plot? Or worse, did before the blood on the rooftop had even dried, and while Papoose was still in a hospital bed with IVs attached, the next 24 hours were a flurry of activity. Did Claressa know too much and try to stop it too late? The internet blew up, with hashtags like #PeepoDown, #Yeezy swung first, and, most startlingly, #Remy set him up, going viral on Clubhouse, Twitter, and TikTok. But where was Remy Ma? There was not a single Instagram post, tweet, or even burner account replying with false information, and that quiet was more powerful than a confession. Let's start with the leaked voice note. As fans looked further, additional receipts began to surface, and indeed, what they found made this entire fight seem like a planned trap. A screen capture of a voice memo purportedly sent by Remy Ma just 2 days before to the rooftop dinner was released by an unknown user claiming to be her former assistant. The voice sounds strikingly similar to her own. I honestly told him not to come, saying, Yeezy ain't in the mood no more. Here is a transcribed excerpt. If he wants to, the internet went crazy. Act brave, he's gone. Get checked. I'm done saving him. Remy knew exactly what was going to happen and let it happen. She didn't stop it. She served it on a silver platter, one Twitter user wrote. Platter. If this was chess, she sacrificed her king to defend the opposing side, someone else wrote. However, it didn't end there. Images taken from Remy's images of her private burner account showed her liking tweets that shaded Papoose, retweeting Claressa's opponents, and even following an Yeezy fan. All of this was purportedly confirmed by a Reddit moderator who compared IP logs to her public profile. Even worse, one of the leaked direct messages from that burner read, "He still thinks I'm loyal." The page under the handle was not that Remy, though. In the realm of social media, perception is reality. Whether that message was about Papoose or someone else is still up for question, but the public has already made up its mind. Therefore, when Claressa was seen leaving the emergency room crying, hooded, and attempting to evade the paparazzi, she wasn't simply receiving pity, she was receiving full-blown Papoose's face with a head bandage, Remy drinking wine while Claressa sobs in the hospital, army of support, memes abound. We were all fined. Remy woman in lotus pose. Yeezy boxing glove. Claressa's face sobbing loudly. Black love was a hoax. When viewers believed they had seen the worst, a second, shorter, but far more damaging video shows Easy sitting in the back of a car with her face smiling at the camera. Shirt undone, and a little battered, he says, "I don't just battle with bars. I finish what others start." This is where it gets even weirder. That line was like a bullet to the Phantom's heart because, if that's not proof that this fight was prearranged, we don't know what is. An individual who worked the event claims that Remy was on the guest list for the rooftop meal but abruptly withdrew. Why? She texted, "There's too much energy in the room," the organizer said. "I'll move on." Too much vigor or too much remorse, since remember, Papoose was the one who supported in order to preserve her legacy. Remy turned off industry, offers to raise her kid while she was incarcerated, and now he's in a hospital bed while the lady he loved is ignoring him all of his life. The scenario gets much more complicated though, because of Claressa's voicemail. According to people familiar with the matter, Claressa left a number of voice messages for one of her closest boxing friends, one of which is said to have leaked. "I tried to warn Remy this would happen," she writes in the note. "You're messing with two men's dignity, I told her months ago. That never works out. She laughed right in front of me." Yes, she did laugh, and now no one is laughing. In fact, some according to insiders, Remy and Claressa haven't spoken for more than a month. The indications were there from the notorious baby shower altercation, in which Remy allegedly criticized Claressa of becoming a stepmother too soon. Papoose was wearing a wrist brace 2 weeks before to this dinner, and Remy ceased tagging him in pictures. Last month, Easy and Remy were seen together at a Netflix event. Claressa deleted all of her Instagram photos of herself with Remy. This wasn't a one-night altercation, rather, it was months of accumulation, secrets, animosity, and inflated egos. At this point, fan theories have escalated into full-fledged documentaries, with some claiming that Easy was tricked into fighting Papoose in order to destroy his impeccable reputation. And now the entire house of cards is collapsing. Both sides played on Claressa's emotions, and Remy planned the meal as a last-ditch effort to determine who truly cared about her, or worse, this was a twisted PR stunt that went too far. In a now viral deconstruction titled Remy Ma, the mastermind of her own collapse, a TikToker with over 300k followers makes all the connections, the burner accounts, the private conversations, the ringcam film that was leaked from Ray's home and showed Easy departing at 3 in the morning. And the last nail in the coffin was an email from a hospital employee, which was also unconfirmed, saying that when Remy was informed about Papoose's health, she remained silent, simply gazed at her phone, and left. Now, look, we're not sure what's true anymore. We know that Papoose is upset, Easy is smug, Claressa is broken, and Remy is curiously calm in the midst of a Category 5 emotional cyclone, but it's all internet noise. By the time the sun rose, nothing was the same. Claressa Shields had left the Brooklyn Methodist Hospital, where Papoose lay quiet in a bed, his face bloated, his ribs bound, his dignity shattered. Only after security persuaded her to take a break, Easy was nowhere to be seen, and Remy Ma was still missing, with not even a phone call to inquire after him. Let's start with the police complaint, but what transpired over the course of the next 48 hours turned the story from a mere celebrity feud into a full-fledged legal and emotional disaster. Easy. The Brooklyn Police Department said that they were looking over security tapes and online viral videos from the rooftop gathering. The block captain is currently being investigated for additionally other attendees, including at least one celebrity who was apparently close enough to have blood on his shoes, have been subpoenaed as witnesses for aggravated assault. One officer, "This wasn't a bar fight," he told Page 6 off the record. There were injuries from this brutal, premeditated incident that might have killed a guy. The worst part is still to come. Papoose is not going to file a complaint. Yes. Exactly. The man has been repeatedly injured, but he still refuses to talk to the police. Why? He feels deceived, embarrassed, and broken, according to people close to him, but he doesn't want to give the media the gratification of seeing him appear helpless. Apparently, his exact words: "Show the world the price of loyalty. I will not bring him before the court." I'm struggling to find calm again.
Oh no.
It hurts now. However, his family does not remain silent, but Papoose does. You let that man bleed in the street like a stranger, wrote his sister, who is notorious for living off the grid, in a harsh Instagram story. You're dead to us after everything he done for you. Even Remy's own fan following appears to be split. Days before the battle, she shared a casual selfie on Instagram, and it was filled with comments. The man who held you down in prison is the one who said things like, "So you let Easy do him like that, and said nothing?" Cold, this is heartless. It's not hip-hop. Claressa Shields, the GWAT, who sobbed outside the emergency room as if her soul had left her body, broke her silence as if the situation couldn't get any dirtier. She didn't hold back in an exclusive last-minute interview with Hot 97. There was more to this than a brawl. This involved feelings of pride, treachery, and witnessing a loved one enter a combat zone alone. Weeks ago, I said to Remy, if you continue to play, someone is going to break on both sides. And guess what? It wasn't simple. Papoose was the word. I love that man, she continued. I've had enough of seeing others break him for sport, but I still do. The internet exploded once more. Twitter is on fire. Reddit is burning. Reaction videos. On YouTube. An entirely different kind of pandemonium. But hold on, it gets more complex. Because, according to hospital sources, Papoose requested that hospital employees prevent Remy from coming. Yes, you read correctly. On Day 2, she reportedly attempted to visit, but security had explicit instructions. Staff said that she lingered in the foyer for 17 minutes before storming out, mumbling, "He always got to make it dramatic. If Remini's Mackie turns up, do not let her through those doors." As if that weren't awful enough, Papoose's daughter uploaded a mysterious TikTok dancing to Beyoncé's "Sorry" with the remark, "I bet you'll regret it. He doesn't love you as much as I do." Yes, this is no longer just drama. This is a betrayal with multiple layers and further anguish. Let us now discuss the restraining order. Indeed, it is taking place. Claressa Shields has talked with legal experts in order to file a temporary restraining order against Easy, according to family sources. Not out of fear, but rather due to the intense pressure from supporters and internal administration. For the sake of her reputation and emotional security, her team essentially doesn't want her to be with Easy ever again. Claressa is in tears. Papoose isn't working. Remy was quiet and relaxed. Like he's promoting a mixtape, he's tweeting lyrics. It's repulsive. But don't assume that Easy has finished speaking. He went live once more last night. As arrogant as ever. With the caption, "Y'all mad, I finished the verse you skipped, I'm sipping Hennessy." He was being begged to be suspended by Instagram. Fat Joe even joined the fray. Joe spoke directly into the camera during a live stream with Angie Martinez. Papoose is a "this has always been the true one. This was cowardly behavior. No matter how hard you rap, you don't treat your family that way." Then there is Remy. According to insiders, she is planning a major project, such as a documentary series with exclusive footage, but she has yet to make an official statement, rage on a podcast, or tour an apology. She is reportedly sitting on more than 30 hours of tape, including private conversations with Easy and Claressa, and it appears that a camera team was following her in the weeks leading up to the fight. Love, Loyalty, and Lies, the Remy Ma story is the purported title of the series, and if it's accurate, this entire controversy may simply be the teaser. One VH1 producer suggested, "What if I told you that this was not the end but rather the start of something greater than hip-hop and love?" What does all of this mean, then? Does Remy want to make money off of the suffering she assisted in causing? And Easy? Will Claressa leave or return with boxing gloves and a new type of fire? Is Papoose really done for good, one fight, one moment? One punch that transformed hip-hop's most admired marriage into a battlefield of treachery, leaving Papoose injured, humiliated, and ultimately a villain or simply another player in a twisted love story that none of us saw coming. Remy is cold, calculating, and maybe recording the entire situation as if it were a television series. Claressa is crushed, emotionally destroyed, and getting ready for a court battle. Remy is clinging to any serenity he can find. And he's still out there behaving like he won a title belt. Those who believed black love was unbeatable won't forget this one, and neither will the internet. Exposing the lies, the love, and the secret recordings, court cases, and possible comeback stories that are just getting started. Famous fallouts. The question now is, where does everyone go from here? Papoose may be recovering physically, but his two closest confidants, Claressa and Remy Ma, she's either the genius or the ghost in this whole twisted opera. No statement, no grief, just silence. Shields may be the GW in the ring, but outside that hospital, she was just a woman watching her man get destroyed as the world videotaped it for views. You're witnessing this right now, but the block captain is grinning, drinking, and tweeting as if it never happened, as if Papoose was just another lyric to be body. We want to know if this was a setup or if Papoose was ready to fall into a trap, if it was easy to protect his name or if it was a planned hit with Ray's tacit agreement. Above all, who is truly devastated here, Remy, Claressa, or us, for having thought that black love would endure? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Trust us, we're not finished. We're listening and watching, as this is just the start. Similar to if you're still in shock, watch this video, strike that subscribe button in case you're interested in truth. Nobody else has the courage to tell me. Activate those alerts, because the subsequent treachery, the subsequent release, the next malfunction, it can drop any minute.